Hey guys, APR Tech here, back with another video, and today I want to talk about a topic that I feel a scarce number of YouTubers cover here on YouTube, and that's following up with a product after its main release day and release week. How does it hold up after time? Is it still worth buying? What are the major concerns or drawbacks of buying a product like that? What price is it still? Is it as good as the newer version? Today we're going to find out with the Gear S2 Classic. This video is brought to you by Red Bear Technologies. Do you want to learn Excel, Selenium, Microsoft Test Manager with Visual Studio, Python, Java, HTML, and so many other languages? Regardless of your age, Red Bear Technologies will get you there. Sign up now. The Gear S2 Classic has a 1.2-inch Super AMOLED display with a 360 by 360 resolution, giving it a 326 ppi. It's made out of 316L stainless steel, which is one of the best, most natural steels you can find. It has a very nice included leather band, and it also comes with a small leather band in case your wrist is small. It's really easy to use in my opinion. You just hit the home button twice and you get to all of your apps. Now the Gear S2 Classic has numerous of apps. You can download more from your phone. You can download games as I have on mine. You can get the internet on your wrist. How cool is that? You can just Google something from your wrist. Spotify, music apps, whatever you want. Find your phone. Look at that. You can also find your Gear S2 Classic using your phone. So I find that pretty cool. You can upload certain images you want onto the device. You want to check your scores, you can do that. You want to check the news, you can do that. Create a timer, stopwatch, S-Voice. Now S-Voice is kind of weird. It's the replacement of Google Now or OK Google. It's not as good as OK Google because just look at this. How's the weather for tomorrow? Look at how long it's taking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More than 6 seconds later it tells me, and it doesn't even tell me how the weather is. It just gives me a card that I have to read. That's fine, whatever. You can text someone from here. You can check S Health. See your calories. It has a heart rate sensor on the back, right? So from that you can take a heart rate sensor. So what's really cool about this is that it takes your heart rate every 3 hours or so. So I didn't manually ask to get my heart rate taken. It just did it for me, so I like that. What's really cool as well is that it comes with a wireless charger. So all you'd have to do is just plop that on there and it'll start charging. It's as easy as that. Now there's no excuses for you not to have your watch with you because it's always going to be charged. Just put it along with your wireless charger that you have for your phone right next to your bedstand and you'll be good to go. So the Gear S2 and S2 Classic released at IFA 2015 by Samsung. It was their flagship smartwatch and it was probably the best smartwatch of its time, competing against smartwatches such as the Moto 360, the Huawei watch, and other watches like that. It stood up pretty well. As you can see, there's a rotating bezel to the side, and instead of using a touchscreen, which it also has, you can use the rotating bezel to get around the user interface. It runs on Tizen, which is a software made by Samsung for the Gear S2, S2 Classic, S3 Classic, and S3 Frontier, which came out in late 2016. The smartwatch also has two buttons on the side, the bottom one being for the home button and the top one being for the back button. The Gear S2 Classic is really great with S Health. As you can see from the previous days, it maintains all of the steps I've taken. The Gear S2 Classic also has amazing battery life. After a day of usage, it's still at 52% battery, and if you leave it overnight, it'll just be at somewhere around 45% or so, meaning you could use this for almost 2 full days. I love the way that the Gear S2 Classic looks. It looks absolutely stunning and stealth, with its black top and brown bottom. Some people aren't even able to tell that I have a smartwatch on. It looks that accurate as a regular watch. It's 42 millimeters with 20 millimeter user replaceable bands with quick release mechanism on the side. On Samsung's first attempt on making an amazing smartwatch, the Gear S, the one with the rectangular curved display, it would only work on Samsung devices. So we finally are able to choose whichever phone we want to run on. It could be a BlackBerry Priv, the Google Pixel, a Samsung device, an LG device, an HTC M10, anything like that is really good. The pairing is also very simple. All you have to do is just download the Gear S plugin on your Android smartphone, and that's basically it. Just turn Bluetooth on and it will sync. Just as long as you have an Android device of Android 4.4 or higher, it'll work on your device. So one reason that the people like the Gear S3 Classic and S3 Frontier is that it has an always-on display. Well, the Gear S2 and S2 Classic also have an always-on display. It's just not as good. So I'm going to turn it off for a second, and you can see that there's a display that's on in the background. Now it's very light, so you'd always have to bring it up to you, but I mean, it's still there if you ever want it. However, it really increases the amount of battery that's used, so I suggest you don't turn it on. Now getting on to the more things that I don't like about the Gear S2 after having it for a while. First of all is its price. If you buy it off Samsung's website, it's still the same price as it was when it was first released, which is $300 for the Gear S2 Classic and $250 for the regular Gear S2. Now, of course, you can get the special edition models like the Rose Gold or the Platinum, which can run you upwards of $500 for a watch like this. For something that was made in 2015, I find that a bit overpriced. Of course, you can use third-party sellers instead of using Samsung, but from Samsung, if you were to buy it straight from them, it's $300 for a watch like this. Next is that Tizen can be kind of annoying. You know, it doesn't get updated as much as Android Wear does. I mean, we haven't had an update from Android Wear in quite a while. We're still on Android 1.0. But it's good to know that Google will be handling all of the software. In a way, you could say Tizen's a good thing because it shows diversity of Samsung choosing to make their own smartwatch software instead of sticking to the generic. The con that I see a lot is people saying that my watch is old, that it was made in 2015, that there's newer technology available. However, if you see the Moto 360, it was also released around that time, and in my opinion, it's not that great of a smartwatch. It doesn't even have a full circle display. It cuts off right around here. Another concern people have is it's too small for their wrist. You know, it's 42 millimeters. Some people like 44 millimeters, 46 millimeters, sometimes even bigger. Then I suggest you look at the Gear S3 Classic and S3 Frontier. Those as well are amazing smartwatches. You can do the same thing. You can check technology news. You can check regular news. Look at that. Just from my watch, I'm able to see that Tesla will have a major car revision almost every year. Just from my watch, I'm able to see that. It gives me more information, and at the end of it, I can say show on my phone, so I can read it on my phone if it's so interesting to me. Overall, I really like the Gear S2 Classic, and I would recommend it still to anyone who's interested. I say it is still as good as it was when I first bought it, which was early 2016 to mid 2016. I mean, just look at how well it's held up. Oh, 1 second, give me a second. Look at how well it's held up. Just the leather band itself. I mean, besides for that bump, I would say that this is in very nice condition, almost new condition. You could still see all of the stitching, all of the letters written on here. It's held up very well, and I'm very proud to say that I own a Gear S2 Classic because it is by far my favorite smartwatch. I've owned many other smartwatches, such as the first generation Moto 360, the Tag Heuer smartwatch, the first generation one. I've attempted to own the Huawei watch for a bit, but I didn't like it too much, so I had to return that. But the Gear S2 Classic is by far my favorite smartwatch. So guys, in conclusion, the Gear S2 Classic is an amazing smartwatch. I recommend it to anybody who's interested. It's almost better than the Gear S3 Classic or S3 Frontier if you like a more smaller watch. I recommend it to anyone. Again, links in the description if you want it. $300 or $250 if you just buy the regular Gear S2. Don't forget, this video that you're watching right now is sponsored by Red Bear Technologies. So Red Bear Technologies is a company that teaches any coding language to any age group, whether it be a middle schooler trying to learn Java or a person looking for a job trying to learn Selenium. Red Bear Technologies can get you there. The link is in the description below. If you're interested, please hit them up. They are really nice people there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.